That feeling that something's not quite right. You know, that split second where the world around you just seems to flicker. Like there's a bug, a little crack in the code of reality itself. Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. These are the glitches in our reality.
Yeah, it's that tiny, fleeting sensation that something is just wrong. It's that one moment that can make you stop in your tracks and question everything you thought you knew, everything you thought was solid and real.
Now, we're not talking about ghosts here, or anything paranormal in the classic sense. Think of it more like a system error, a technical malfunction in the operating system of our world.
So let's explore those moments when the code of our world just seems to completely break down. And you know what? Sometimes that break starts right inside your own head.
Yeah, we're going to start with the errors that mess with our own personal source code. And we've got two of the biggest, most common, and frankly, most confusing ones up first: déjà vu and the Mandela effect. The big question is, are these just simple tricks of the mind, or is it something more?
I mean, who hasn't felt this, right? Déjà vu. It's that sudden, overwhelming wave of familiarity. You're walking into a cafe, maybe one you've never ever been to before, but it feels like you've been there a million times. You hear a tray clattering in the background, the low buzz of conversation, and when the barista calls out an order, somehow you already know the name she's about to say. And then maybe a black cat dashes past your legs, and boom, it hits you. I have been here before. You've seen this exact scene play out, moment for moment.
And this is the really creepy part, right? It's not just that it feels familiar. No, it's more than that. It's a chilling sense of knowing what happens next. You just know that the guy by the window is about to check his watch. You just know the woman at the counter is going to drop her keys. You feel like you know what's coming.
So, what in the world is going on? Well, you've got two main options here. Science says it's just a simple brain misfire, a tiny processing error where your mind accidentally flags a new experience as an old memory. Boring, right? The other theory, the glitch theory, suggests something way, way stranger. It says maybe you have lived this moment before. Maybe you're stuck in a time loop, or you've just reloaded an old save point from the game. Okay, so déjà vu is personal. It's a glitch that happens to you. But what if the glitch isn't just in your memory? What if it's in reality itself? What happens when literally millions of people all share the exact same glitch, a memory that just doesn't line up with the official record? All right, let's do a little test. Right now, picture Pikachu in your head. Got it? Okay, does he have a black tip on his tail? I bet a lot of you are nodding your heads right now. Millions of people would swear on it. But go ahead, look it up. He's never had one. Okay, how about this one, the Monopoly Man? You can see him, right? Top hat, big mustache, and a monocle? Nope, he's never ever had a monocle. This whole crazy thing is called the Mandela effect, and it gets its name from one of the biggest examples of all. Tons of people clearly, vividly remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison back in the 80s. They remember seeing news reports, even his funeral on TV. But that didn't happen. He was released from prison and lived all the way until 2013. So, how? How can millions of people share the exact same false memory? Well, the official theory is that, our memories are just really, really bad and super unreliable. False info spreads like a virus. But the other theories, they're a lot more interesting and a lot more unsettling. What if reality gets server-side patches, updates that literally overwrite the past, and our memories are just the leftover cache files from the old version? Or maybe, just maybe, we're sliding between parallel universes, and these are just the little sync errors as we switch timelines. Okay, so far we've been talking about glitches of the mind, right? Errors in memory and perception. But now we're going to talk about glitches of the body. And this is where things go from just being weird to being absolutely terrifying. Yeah, we're not talking about strange feelings or misremembering a cartoon character anymore. We're talking about moments when the human body itself seems to bug out, to malfunction in some of the most horrifying ways you can possibly imagine. So let's talk about sleep paralysis. Here's the deal. When you're in deep REM sleep, your brain paralyzes your body. It's actually a safety feature to stop you from, literally running around in your dreams. But sleep paralysis is a glitch in that system. It's when your brain wakes up, but your body doesn't. The paralyzed command is still running. You're awake, you're aware, and you are completely, utterly trapped. And for anyone who's gone through this, it feels like an eternity. Your eyes snap open, you can see your room,
You can't move, you can't scream, you can't even twitch a finger. Nothing works. You're just locked inside your own head. And that's when the pure terror sets in. Because you get the feeling you are not alone.
But here's where it gets truly bizarre. It's not just the feeling of being paralyzed. People from totally different cultures all across history, people with zero connection to each other, they all describe seeing the exact same thing. A dark, shadowy figure watching them. Sometimes it's in the corner of the room, sometimes it's at the foot of the bed, and sometimes it's sitting on their chest, pressing down.
And this is the question that just messes with your head. If this is all just a random brain glitch, a simple misfire in your sleep cycle, then why is everyone seeing the same thing? Is the human brain just hardwired to produce this one specific nightmare? Or, and this is a chilling thought, is it possible that for those few terrifying moments, you can actually see something that's always in the room with you?
Okay, so from being unable to move, we're now going to the most extreme, the most unbelievable physical glitch of all. This is the ultimate system error, the body's self-destruct button. It's a phenomenon so rare, so bizarre, it sounds like it was ripped straight from a horror novel.
I want you to imagine this scene. Firefighters arrive at a house. Inside, a person's body has been reduced to a pile of fine gray ash, but there's no sign of a fire. Nothing else is burned, except the heat was so intense it melted a TV across the room. And here's the truly weird part. Sitting there, in that pile of ash, are the victim's feet, or lower legs, perfectly, completely untouched by the fire. This isn't fiction. This is spontaneous human combustion. And these are the bizarre clues left behind at real scenes.
And on this one, science is pretty much stumped. I mean, sure, there are theories, like something called the wick effect, where body fat and clothing act like a candle burning from the inside out. But that theory just doesn't explain everything. It doesn't explain the insane localized heat needed to turn bone into ash. It doesn't explain why the fire doesn't spread. And it definitely doesn't explain the perfectly preserved feet. It's like the human body just has some hidden, catastrophic self-destruct sequence.
So let's recap, right? We've got memories that don't match up with history. We've got that eerie feeling of having lived a moment before. We've got waking nightmares shared by millions of people across the globe. And we've got bodies that can just burst into flames. These aren't just weird stories. These are fundamental glitches in the reality we take for granted every single day.
And all of this leads to one final really unsettling question. If the rules of your world can bend, if they can break, if they can literally rewrite themselves without any warning, are you actually in control? Or are you just a character in a game? An NPC just experiencing the bugs in someone else's code?